Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 25th. It's 6:20 right now. Market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick. Then we get started for our session this morning. All right, just a couple more things here to set up real quick. Let's see. It's good. It's good. A couple more things here. And I think we're good to go. All right, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we'll get started with our analysis for this morning. All right. All right, so as people make their way in, I'm going to go ahead and start off with marking up these areas of liquidity here on the higher time frame. And then we'll go from there. So I'll go from the daily. And I typically just start over. I just clean up the charts and I redraw the liquidity because it's not that difficult. It's literally like, it takes like a few seconds to redraw the liquidity here. So in the higher time frames, I start on the daily, move down to the 8-hour, move down to the 4-hour. And this is the higher time frame. Lower ones, I start on the 1 hour. So 4-hour, 2-hour, 1 hour. 30-minute. 15-minute. And down to, of course, the 10-minute. All right, so I got all the liquidity here marked up on the 10-minute. Pretty solid. All right, so that's good right there on the higher time frames. I'm going to mark up the lower time frames as well. So let me just see who's in the room real quick as we get started. So let's see who's here. So Miles, good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, May 25th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. I'm going to finish up marking the liquidity here on the 1 minute. And then we'll get started with our overall analysis of the market today. So morning, Saren, morning, Maria, morning, Craig, morning, Peter, morning, Ruin, morning, Matt, morning, Kenny, morning, Honey, morning, Steven, morning, Jez, morning, Marlon, morning, Marco, morning, Professor, morning, Lorraine, morning, Lisa, morning, Kevin, morning, Patrick, morning, Mario. All right, guys, let me mark up the liquidity here on the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute, when I'm marking up liquidity, I typically start on the 1 hour and then I just go down from there. So we got one right here. And you guys can see how fast it is to mark up this liquidity. It's not like it takes you forever to mark this up. Literally, you turn on the K2 high-low indicator, and then you have all of the liquidity already lined up for you. You just turn on the drawing tool, and then you draw your areas of liquidity here. Looks good there. 15. 10, everything marked up there, 5 minute. It just gets tighter as you get closer to the lower time frames. And it just becomes a little more accurate. So he's marked up there. Lastly, the 1 minute. And I think that is about it. All right, solid. So looking at this right here, here are all the areas of liquidity on the lower time frames. As you guys can see, there's a lot of liquidity on the bottom, a lot of liquidity on the top. So we'll see what the overall bias is looking like, and then we'll go from there. Hey, Slava, morning. Morning, Jesus. Morning, Andreas. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, looks like majority of you guys are in here. I'm going to go and mark up the clean chart over here as well. I'm just going to do the 1 minute. I'm not going to do anything too crazy on here. It's not all that necessary. So I'll go ahead and mark it, the areas of liquidity right here, and then we can get started with our analysis of the overall bias. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. So just want to make sure everything is all marked up before then. All right, solid. So I'll mark up a couple of things here. 6:30, 7, 8. Let me check the news real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. Today is Wednesday, May 25th. There was news at 5:30. So news at 5:30, and there's going to be news at 7:30. So 5:30, 7:30. Let me go and mark up the news over here real quick. 5:30 was right here. It's news price. 5:30 right here as well. All right, so I got that marked up. We got news at 7:30. Call that red. And then same with this over here. All right, guys, 6:28, market's going to open in about 2 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the overall bias. It didn't take that long. So going over here at the retail sentiment is currently 61% long. So we're looking for sells here with regard to retail sentiment. Looking over at the fundamentals, they're currently down 132 points. So we're definitely looking for sells today. Looking over at the technicals, it's also a sell. Over here is prices below the pivots. Trend meter is indecisive, but prices below the pivots. One thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that there is sessions and news price right here. So if you're looking for a sell on the breakout, you want to be careful because we have sessions and a news price right there. Price just knocked down all the liquidity right here. We'll see how far it pushes, but market is going to open in about 50 seconds. So I'm going to take all these areas of liquidity right here off, make some adjustments to this one because it didn't push down lower. But things you want to be careful for are the fact that we're right at sessions and right at the news price. So looks like we're good, guys. So yeah, we'll see where the market opens and where it pushes from here. But market will be opening in about 20 seconds. So get ready. All right, that's good. 19's asking, hey, Steven, what's your name on Telegram? His name is Steven. It's just Steven with the blue. It's in blue. All right, so market is now open, guys. So let's see where this is going. Clean this up. This is a clean chart. So basically right here, we're looking for a strong green candle, or we're looking for a strong red candle with a sell signal. Just areas that you want to be careful for is going to be sessions and the news price right there. So Don't forget the red flags, guys. The red flags are always going to be key right here. So currently right now we have an overall bias for a sell. So we're only looking for sells. If you're not going to be factoring in the bias, then you can be looking for a strong green candle. However, I'm probably not going to take any bias because the overall bias here is a sell today. If we do get a buy, then I'll mark it up for you guys. But as I mentioned, I'm not going to trade against the bias. I'm looking for a sell here. In order for us to get a sell, we need a sell signal to come up. We also need a strong red candle to confirm the direction. So if this closes, it can close for a buy. I wouldn't be surprised if it pushes up because we do have liquidity right here. So it can still push up and hit all these areas of liquidity. But I personally wouldn't be looking for a buy. Fundamentals here are red. Retail sentiment is indicating a sell. As you can see, it's 61% short. So I'm not looking for any buys today. I'm looking for sells. The thing that makes it risky here for sells is that it's right at the sessions and it's right at news price right here. So it's not really an area where I want to be taking anything too risky. I basically want to wait for price to push somewhere below here before I start looking for trades, because I don't want to get caught in the bounce in case price does bounce off either the sessions or news price down below. So still no breakout right now. Let me take a look at the heat map over here. I'll refresh this real quick. Looking over here on the heat map, it's all red. So I'm definitely looking for sells today, guys. Here we go. If this closes here with the strong green candle, this would technically be the breakout. However, it's not one that I'm going to take. I'll mark it up for you guys if it does close, but it doesn't look like it's going to. Huge wick right there. I'll just have this ready over here just in case. All right, so basically waiting for this right here to close. Steven, if we get this for a buy, don't take it. I'm gonna give you a heads up right now because I know you're probably gonna take it, but I'm gonna let you know now not to take it if you do take it. If you do plan on taking it. If you wanna take it, feel free. There we go, there's a breakout right there. But I'm not going to take it. Again, as I mentioned, guys, overall bias is for a sell. So I'm not looking for any buys right here. This can easily be a fake out. It can come right back down. I'm not even thinking about taking any buys at this moment because everything here is pointing towards a sell. Overall bias right here. Retail sentiment is now 60% long, indicating that there's 60% of retail traders on the buy side. Fundamentals are currently bearish, so I don't want to be trading against that either. And the heat map over here is completely red. So I definitely do not want to be taking any buys here. Not to say that this is like it might not hit TP, because it probably will hit TP. There's areas of liquidity right here. So it might spike up and then it might come right back down. So I'm not going to take this. If you guys want to take it, feel free. This is still going to be the breakout entry. So as you guys can see, the second requirement here with the overall bias is optional. It's not required, but it's highly it's optional, but highly recommended. So it's just too risky of a move. Last thing you want to do is get caught into a trade and then it comes right back down like when you least expect it. So, and there you can see prices coming all the way back down. You just don't want to get caught in this fake out right here. It did exactly what we anticipated, pushed up to liquidity, and then it came right back down. So if you guys are in this position, I do recommend moving your stop loss in profit or pulling out in profit already. You can see it's back to entry point. Came back down, retested this area of liquidity, and then it swung back up. I'm basically waiting for it to swing up. It might come up, hit the sessions right here, and then it might make its way back down. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right here. I don't mind if it pumps up. I'd rather have it pump up and then have it swing back down at some point rather than, risking the move here. Nice. All right. So Maddie has, and there you go. It would have been a full TP. So if you guys took it, congrats to you guys. I'm not looking to take any of those type of risks. So I didn't take it myself, but if you guys did take it, great work. So if you guys have problems for that, feel free to, post them up if you want, and then we'll add them to the list. But nothing for me right now. Still no trades on my end. I'm going to clean up this liquidity here, and then we'll see if it comes back down from this point over here. a lot of open space if it does come back down. One thing I need to mark up as well is going to be opening price, which would be right there. So as you can see, price is rejecting off this area of liquidity. I'm probably expecting maybe a retest and possibly a swing back down from here. But we'll see. I know, Steven. Unfortunately, that's basically what happened there. All right. So what I kind of see happening right here, guys, is it might knock out the liquidity on top. Let's see where the liquidity is sitting over here. If there's more liquidity, there's actually a lot of liquidity here. There's a couple areas where price can bounce from. Price can bounce from this area of liquidity, can fake out, hit liquidity, and then make its way back down. Or it can make its way up to here. Looks like the high from today has already been hit. I don't know which high are you referring to, Matsy, because the high's already been broken. So yeah, your analysis was right. Unless you're talking about the high from market reopen, which was like, I'd have to look on the other time frame, which should be like way up here. That's a pretty big push. Okay, gotcha. Okay, Asia high and London high. Yeah, so the Asia high is like way up here. Let's see how far is that push from here. And that's the last area of liquidity, Matthew. So you could be right. That's like 1,300 pip push, which is doable. I think anything below 2,000 pips is doable. It just depends on like how far price wants to get pushed up. But I can probably see it, like there's a lot of areas here where price can, likely get knocked down. It's basically these areas of liquidity. Like, so there's an area right here. Area right there for the sessions. But yeah, that area might be like the last area for it to test, or it might even just come down from here. Yeah, and I agree too, Matsy. Matsy said, if not, there's supply to fill on some sell orders, which I agree too. And that's kind of what Maddie identified as well. Maddie kind of identified, he identified his 15-minute and 5-minute supply at the sessions, which would be around this area right here. This could have been a fake out where price broke through the supply, and then it could have just it could like bounce around this area and then come back down. But we'll see where it goes from here. It's just it's the time to be patient, guys. Just like Monday, right? Like Monday, I didn't take any trades, and then Tuesday I made a whole bunch of profit. It's the same with today. Not every day is going to be a smooth day where you can just hop into trades and it'll be easy wins for everybody. Some days will be like this where you'll get some choppiness and manipulation around certain areas, and then price will just start moving smoothly after that. Going back over here to the fundamentals, let's see if it's still sitting below. So it's actually green now. The fundamentals here are green, so it's now conflicting with the retail sentiment. However, it's not too strong. It's only up about 18 points. So if price does come back down, say if price drops from this point and comes back to this area right here, then the fundamentals will turn back to red. So going back over here to the heat map is still all red. So I could see it coming back down. I'm not going to chase it at all. Or I'm not going to switch my bias at all. I'm just going to wait because this could just be a temporary push to the upside. And then it could just swing right back down. It's just a matter of patience, waiting for, those perfect times to make trades, because if this drops below here, you have a whole area to trade from this point all the way down to opening price. You got a lot of space to trade, and price may come back down to opening price. So this is kind of what I see happening. If prices break below here, then I could see it drop all the way back down to opening price right here. So just got to wait for it. But we'll keep watching. It's probably going to range around this area. This is kind of what I expect to see right here. I probably see an area of range or consolidation between this high and maybe these sessions right here. Price might come back down, retest the sessions, bounce off, come back up, come back down, retest the sessions. And then eventually it's just going to dump right back down to opening price. And I'm sure you guys have seen that pattern. It happens all the time. We see these patterns very often because we trade US30 every day. And it's nothing new. You get this huge push of volatility. It consolidates for a bit, and then it breaks out into correction right back down, or it continues to push back up. So 2 different scenarios here to look out for is, since price is ranging right now, just wait for the breakout, right? Price is going to break out to the upside, or it's going to break out to the downside. My guess is that eventually it's going to break back down to the downside, but right now it's just ranging. So it's a matter of waiting for it. Nice. Jay over here actually took the breakout for a buy. Thanks for trusting the strategy, Jay. Jay trusted the buy there, even though I didn't, I kind of didn't even trust it myself. He took it and he locked in a total of 1,222. Nice work, Jay. Let's see, Eunice over here sent in some profits as well. He said some profits from London session with the last 2 trades. I catched with liquidity. He caught liquidity here for the sell and for the buy in both directions. So trades here from London, he caught these sells here, and then for the breakout right now this morning, Eunice caught this for a total of 410 in profit. Great work, Eunice. I have some profits from last night as well. I tried to catch the liquidity to the downside yesterday. Unfortunately, I moved my stop loss too early. It's the same one that Narith over here took. So if you guys saw Narith's profits this morning, he took the sell here. I took it as well around the sessions right here. I ended up moving my stop loss in profit too early when the first candle broke below the sessions. And then when it swung back up, it hit my stop loss in profit. It's only locked in about like $200 to $300 per account, which is all right. The profit's profit, but then it ended up dumping right after. Typical move. But yeah, I mean, right now, nothing for us to really look at. I'm gonna go ahead and just clean this up to the clean markup chart over here. And there we go. As price starts to make its way back down. So I'm just waiting. I mean, that's basically what we're all doing here. We're just waiting for some sort of confirmation in the market. Markup, opening price right there. There we go. As price starts to dump. Let's go. Let it drop. Just waiting for this thing to drop right back down. There we go. So it's doing exactly what we anticipated, right? Went from the range. I mentioned price was going to break out from there. Broke out below. Now I just got to wait for some sort of entry. I know there is a V3 right here. Not one that I would take because it's right at the sessions. But yes, this was a V3 right here. I don't know if anyone caught it, but it's technically still running and it actually already hit TP. Yeah, Maddie said caught the V3 because I've seen the flickering sell signal. Yeah, so Maddie actually caught the V3 right there. 19 took it as well. So nice work, guys. Whoever caught the V3, nice work. You guys caught that. Like, I didn't even see that myself. I wasn't paying attention to it. But again, I wouldn't have taken the trade myself because of the obvious red flag there. It's right at the session. So, it's just discipline. I'm disciplined to avoid these riskier trades. But yeah, I mean, first red flag right there, right near the sessions. Yeah. Also, yeah, Maddie said risking because price was ranging as well. Yeah. So 19 and Maddie actually caught the V3 right there. So nice work, guys. I wouldn't have taken it, but I'm glad to see that you guys profited off that trade there. Here's the range. So now that price is kind of pushed below, you can see the range is now kind of farther off, right? So looking at the range right here, price is basically just ranging in between this high and this low, and then it just keeps bouncing around the sessions right here. I'm sure you guys have seen this pattern. This pattern has been coming up like every day for the past couple weeks now. Price will like create a range in between or outside of the sessions, and then it'll just keep bouncing back and forth from that point. Where there tends to be a lot of manipulation. So again, I would just be careful and wait. You can see there's a lot of fake outs here. Fake out to the upside. If you took this buy over here and you took it at the wrong time, looks like you could have gotten stopped out because it dropped about 850 pips and then it swung back up. So if you chase the sell there, you would have gone stopped out again because it swung right back up. Over here, another 1,000 pips. So basically a swing below 1,000 pips, swing above 1,000 pips. And here it goes as it retests, or it tests for the first time, the New York high. And it may be making its way back down. Yeah, Maddie said fake out on both sides. Which, yeah, we noticed that. 19 said hopefully it closes with the buy signal. I hope so too, so that we can have pending momentum to the downside. There's no V3 right here, guys, if you guys are thinking about it. There's no pending signal for a sell or pending momentum. We need this buy signal here to close so that we can get that pending momentum. Yeah, I agree, Maddie. Maddie said this is why scalping is best. Catch quick 10 points instead of holding positions. Yeah, and I agree too, Maddie. Professor said 10-minute V3 would be great. Let's go over here to the 10-minute real quick. Let me clean up these areas of liquidity. Yeah, no, that'd be great, Professor, if we got one. So we need this to close here with that green candle, and the next candle will be red. That'd be a really nice V3 on this 10-minute. So we'll make sure to come back around here to the 10-minute to confirm if we do get a V3 on there, which we might have it. We just need this candle to close green. So we have a high with the green there, and then it's followed by a red candle. And I think that'll be pretty solid. So no V3 right here, guys, if you guys are wondering. This is a V1 actually, yeah. It just happened really fast though. So this was a V1 right here. I'm not sure if anyone caught that. It just happened super quick. Volatility right now is a little bit crazy. It was a double body. So if you guys attended the mentoring session yesterday, we went over the V1s in detail. So here's variation V1, confirm overall bias, it's a sell, confirm the high low right there. Following candles, a double body or double wick, double body right there. You could have entered for a sell for 100 pips. And then it's coming back down to retest the sessions right here. Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry. So there's actually no V1 right here, guys. My bad. Thanks, Maddie, for confirming that. I just realized there was no buy signal. I thought there was a buy signal on this candle right here. You need the pending momentum to confirm the trade. So you're right, Charles and Maddie, thanks for confirming that. That's the reason why I didn't look for it. Okay, so now it makes sense. We're still looking for that buy signal. So we need a buy signal to come up here in order for us to take any of the variations, because we need a pending momentum in the direction of the trade. As you can see, price just keeps faking out both ways. It's just ranging heavily in both directions. Range to the upside, fake out, range to the downside, fake out, range to the upside, fake out, and right back to the bottom right here for another fake out. What might happen is price might come back for the retest and then fake out again to the upside. So it's just going to keep bouncing back and forth until it determines, its actual direction. Going back over here to the fundamentals, let me refresh this. Fundamentals are only up. It's like not even like 10 points. It's like up like 2 points, which is going to turn red. If I refresh this right now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be red. It's now red, so it's down 2 points. Heat map over here is still very red. Fundamental retail sentiment is still indicating a sell. It's currently 60% long. So yeah, overall, I'm still looking for a sell here, guys. I'm not going to get caught in, in them trying to lure in buyers here, because I know what the overall bias is, not for a buy. So I do think price is going to come back down. It's just a matter of time until it comes crashing back down to opening price. I kind of like this right here now. So as you guys can see, there's an area of liquidity that's building up right here. So if price comes below here, I might be able to take a speculative sell, like, if I feel comfortable with it. So I'll keep looking for this here. If you guys are not familiar with like these speculative sells through liquidity, remember to go back and just review the mentoring session from last week. We didn't cover it this week, but we did last week. But we do have an area of liquidity that's built up right here. So if price says, this is what I see happening, guys. We do have this push back and forth right here. If price ends up coming below this point, then I expect price to come down to opening price. That's basically what I see happening. I don't think I took my screenshot of my profits from yesterday. So I'm going to do that real quick. I just took like one trade yesterday. I was trying to catch liquidity. I don't think I took screenshots of it, so I'll just save these real quick as we wait for price to kind of bounce around so that you guys can see the difference. I wish there was a faster way to screenshot my accounts at once. I mean, I could probably open my copier, but I like seeing the actual accounts. All right, so price pushed back up. I'm basically just waiting for it to come back down. We do have that buy signal right there that's likely to close. Need that to close there so we can get the pending sell. Doesn't matter if it's valid or invalid. Any type of buy signal is fine for us. All right, so we're going over here. Professor said 10-minute does not look like it will give us a green candle. Let me go over there real quick. Yeah, unfortunately not. So no V3 here off the 10-minute. Yeah, bummer on that one. We do need that buy signal to close out here as well. Let's see. Maddie said sell signal can push it to liquidity and back to open. Need that green signal first. Yeah, I agree, Maddie. So I don't mind if it keeps bouncing around this area. I'm waiting for it to close. And then I'm going to see if we can maybe catch something here. It's going to give space in between this area. Let me just clean this up a little bit. I don't want to have too much stuff on the chart that is unnecessary. We need that buy signal. It's not closing. All right, so no buy signal there again. Yeah, just really hoping those going to close. All right, price is still pushing around that area. Here is the 10-minute. Not really much here to look at all. Price is kind of just bouncing around as it was earlier. We just need this buy signal to close. That's the main thing I'm looking for, really. Waiting for it to close right here. As you can see, price is starting to squeeze. And it's creating tighter highs and tighter lows. As price continues to squeeze, same pattern, right? Squeeze right here, and then it breaks out to the downside or breaks out to the upside. My guess is that it'll break out to the downside, but you know, we can't factor out the buys yet until, or we can't factor out the push to the upside until we have that confirmation that it's actually below here. But I do like that it created liquidity right here. This is what I mean about double liquidity. When the liquidity areas are this close to each other, this is too spread out. So I wouldn't consider this like an area of liquidity to be taking, you know, those speculative trades. This right here is what I'm looking for. You basically want it to be somewhat tight. So if you measure this right here, you can see that it's about 100 pips. This is enough for you to catch 100 pips. This right here is not enough, right? I mean, it's enough. It's more than enough. It's like 200 pips, double the move basically. But this is an area of liquidity that I would take some speculative trades. So still nothing here. For the most part, I'm looking for a buy signal. I want the buy signal to come up. I don't care if it comes up and hits this area of liquidity. I'd prefer it so that it pushes up a little higher, and then it gives us some more space here to take a sell. Going back over here to the fundamentals. Fundamentals are back in the green, but they're not very strong. They're just going to stay around that area, so it's not too heavy of a bias. Looking over here at retail sentiment, looks like a lot of people are starting to pull out of their buys right here. So the sentiment here isn't even that strong. As this number starts to decrease, it's going to shift, you know, obviously it's going to shift bias. We'll see what happens here, but it's still on the sell side. Maddie said it's at 1 hour supply right now. Good to know, Maddie. Good to know. So we got this high right here. Hopefully it closes with that buy signal. Okay, perfect. Let's knock this out. And that buy signal is not closing. Now at this point, guys, it's now creating an area of liquidity on the top side. So you want to be careful because what can happen here is price may hit this area of liquidity. It may push up to this sessions right here. And then it might come back down from that point. So there we go. It's as it created an area of liquidity. Let's see if it pushes up. I'm gonna leave those areas of liquidity right there for a double for basically a retest. So price might come down a little bit. It might come back up and then hit those areas of liquidity before it reaches the sessions up here. All right, so pretty much came up there, hit the liquidity. So I'll just leave that up for now. Or I can just delete this one actually. Down's been retested. So basically the area to look out for would be this right here. If price comes up and hits this, I could see it spiking up slightly. I'm not going to risk it. But this would be an area of liquidity that could be taken, pushed to the sessions right there. I'm not going to take it, obviously, but we'll see how it plays out. If it does come back up, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to, but if it does. And that buy signal never closed. I thought we were going to get at least a buy signal around here or right here, and it just kept disappearing. Just fake outs back and forth. Let's go back to the 10-minute. So we have another high here. If this closes here, then this could be setting up for a V3. Actually a better V3 right here, Professor, because it's a bit higher. We do have a little more leeway. Yep, exactly. Professor said set up for that 10-minute V3, baby. Definitely. It's pretty much what I see happening there as well. It's just it's going to keep bouncing around this area. Ed's asking, what would the 10-minute V3 TP stop loss be? It's the same requirements, Ed. It doesn't change. You set it at the previous swing. So I get that question every so often. The requirements don't change. You're setting your TP stop loss equal distance for 1-to-1 at the previous high low. So there's no set TP stop loss for the V3 strategy. All right, prices kind of bouncing around this area. It's just ranging. So basically, as you guys can see, price is just ranging between this high and this low, just going back and forth. Big range. Let's see how far this range is right here. This range is about 1,000 pips. It's 1,190 pips. So big range back and forth over here. It's going to get tighter eventually, though. As you can see, another low is being established right here. It's probably going to break it, but if it doesn't, this is going to be the new range. Right there for the retest. Looks like this here is now the new range. All right, yeah, 10 minutes gonna close green right there. Could be setting up for the V3. Yep. It's closing green. There we go. So the 10-minute has closed green right there. We need this to close as a red candle. A couple red flags here. Well, main red flag is gonna be the sessions. So we'll see what happens when, when this candle does close. It might close like way below it. But we'll follow along. So there he goes. Price pushes below. Move this a little lower. Clean this up over here. All right, so I cleaned up the chart a bit. You guys can see where the high is now. The range is now between this high and this low right here. It's back and forth. Let me update this over here. Here goes a high. Low. So it's a lot easier to see here on the clean chart. As you guys can see from here, market open down below here. It's pretty much just bouncing around. So market opened right here at this blue line. Price pushed up a little bit, consolidation. I wouldn't be surprised if price comes back down and corrects back down to this area right here. Right? It's just going to be a matter of time. But you guys can see over here, we had this big bullish push on open, consolidation. Now from 7 to 8 o'clock, this is the new hour. Price can just make its way right back down. So see where it goes from here. But you guys can see the pattern right here, right? Bullish push, consolidation. After some consolidation and squeezing, price will break out to another area. So the next thing that you want to look for or kind of identify is whether price will break out to the upside or whether it breaks down to the downside, right? Two different areas where price can go. It just really depends on what confirmation we can see from here. But there we go with that right there. But overall, market hasn't done anything. You can see that the range here has been going on for about, let's see, from this candle right here up until here. So basically in the past 32 minutes, there hasn't been really much movement. There's been a range back and forth, but no clear direction. It's just a range back to the upside, back to the downside, just back and forth movement. So we're waiting for it to actually choose a direction, which I'm assuming is going to be for a sell here. If and when we do get that, we can start taking some trades back to the downside. But I mean, literally nothing right now. The V3 here doesn't look like it's setting up just yet, but we still have about 7 minutes on this candle. So this can easily just swing back down. So we'll just leave that right there. And we also need a buy signal. So we can't even take any trades here for any variations, any high-low scalps, any of those trades really, because we don't have a buy signal. So the same buy signal that we were waiting for earlier still hasn't come up. But if this closes, you guys will see that it's starting to squeeze a bit tighter, which is what we're looking for. We want price to squeeze because as price squeezes tighter and tighter, it just charges up for a breakout. And I want this to close with the buy signal as well. Here's again that area of liquidity. If price pushes up to this point, we're probably gonna have it push to, it's almost there. There you go. It's probably gonna push up to this area right here, the sessions, just like we marked up earlier. So that area of liquidity right there got hit. It's pushing up a little bit, and then maybe it'll test the sessions and come back down. All right, so we do have the buy signal right there. It played out perfectly, came up, retested the sessions. So this area of liquidity played out exactly how we anticipated. I had this marked up earlier. I said if price reaches this point, it's probably gonna push up, test the sessions, and then one or two things will happen. It'll either keep pushing up higher and hit this area, or it'll just bounce off. So. If it bounces off, I can start looking for some V3s here or some type of variation. Gotcha. Thanks, Professor. So Professor confirmed that the fundamentals are now slightly up. They're up about 70 points or 56 points right now. It's still not above 100 points, so we'd still look for some sells here. Possibly. It's not going to be a strong direction, but it's still, it's still not, the bias hasn't changed. That's what I'm trying to get across to you guys. Let's see. Retail sentiment here is still 59%. So I'm still looking for sells, guys. It's not too strong, but still looking for sells. Maddie said that 1 minute buy signal has been playing for like 30 minutes now. Yeah. So I'm looking for any possible entries that can come up from this point. The 10-minute over here, it actually pushed up higher, Professor. So it's still setting up for a V3. We just need this one here to close with the green candle now. Because price bounces around. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. The markup over here pretty much played out already. So clean this up a bit. Put a new area of liquidity above there. There goes. Price makes its way back down. Yeah. I'm hoping it doesn't close. Like, I don't want this sell signal here to close because then we're not going to have a pending sell. Yeah. Yeah. So if this closes here, we're not going to have a pending sell. That's kind of what we were waiting for. I'm hoping it doesn't, and then we end up, so I don't know, we'll see. What might happen here is this will be considered another area of liquidity. The only problem with this area of liquidity is that it's so close to the sessions right here. Like, it's gonna be hard to make any profit off that. Unless I go for like a really, really small move, like 50 pips or something, but I'm not gonna take it. It's too close to the session. So I can't go against my own red flags. Trades near the sessions. It's too close. So here's what I anticipate, guys. If price ends up coming back down or retest this area right here, I think it's going to come down and test the sessions right here. That's what I anticipate. And then from that point, price will either bounce off it or it'll break below and continue dropping further. This is the area that I'm really looking for. Now, if price gets below here, then I'll take some, whatever trade I can take for some speculation down here. I might even just go for like 100 pips or so. I wouldn't take it right here if it's too close to the sessions, but if it comes below here, then yeah, possibly. See, MJ said 5-minute V3 could be setting up. Damn, MJ is here. What are you doing on here, MJ? Thought you're on vacation in the Philippines. Yeah, there's a V3 area setting up. So there's a V3 over here. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it's actually a good time for you. 10 p.m. in the Philippines right now. So there's a V3 setting up here on the 5-minute. And we'll see where it closes. If it closes. 35. So invalid right there on the 1 minute. So this trade here is going to be dependent on how far it goes near the sessions. I don't think I would possibly take it if it gets too close, because it's it's gonna cut into that red flag that we were talking about. But you can probably take like some small trades in between. Like, I'll probably trade in between it, maybe catch the little pushes. But for the most part, I think it's still, it's a bit of a risky area to be trading in because it's right next to the sessions. Got about 30 seconds left on this candle. It's definitely going to be too risky of a move for me personally, because it's cutting into the sessions right here. So I'm probably not going to take it, or maybe what I'll do is I'll take small little speculative trades within it, not necessarily any. I'm not going to hold on to the full move. Maybe like 100 pips here and there. We'll see where it goes from here. Let's see if I take it for maybe 100 pips or something like that on this area. It's a 40. Yes. Okay, so I take it for 100 pips right here, guys. I was telling you guys, if you guys were listening to my analysis here, I said I was going to just take it for a small move. I did catch it for 100 pips right there. It was a FOMO move, not one that I recommend people take unless you're confident about it. The reason why I was confident about this move right here was because, it was a solid V3. The only thing that I was worried about was that if it got close to these sessions right here. So I took it for 100 pips. I locked in a quick profit of 1,090. Decent. I followed Sean's whisper on that. Yeah, some of you guys kind of you guys can kind of see when I am taking these trades. The reason why I took that trade there was because there was a big range right here, right? So I was trying to calculate how far would I need to push. I'm only going for 100 pips. So if there's a big range right here, I have enough space to catch 100 pips. And also, I saw the area of liquidity right here, so that's why I was kind of okay with taking it, because I was like, okay, if I end up taking a trade right here, it's probably going to push down to somewhere around this area. So I just caught it for a quick 100 pips. It's not going to count as an official trade, obviously, because there's no official trade there on our end, because this doesn't like line up with anything else. This was a V3, but as I mentioned, I said I wasn't going to take it for the full move because of obviously the session's right here. Nice. So a lot of you guys here actually followed my analysis when I said I was going to take it for a small move. D caught it for a profit. Steven said I took the sell, made some profit. Nice work, Steven. And it's still bouncing around this area. I don't recommend people hop into this unless like you're really confident about the trade. I wasn't 100% confident, so it's a risky trade. It's something that I typically recommend you guys don't do unless you guys know what you're doing. Like, I don't recommend you guys do liquidity trades unless you guys are like really familiar with it and comfortable with taking those quick trades. Also with these little small speculative moves within the full move here. So I wouldn't be surprised if it hits full TP, but obviously you're going to be seeing some back and forth movement as price continues to move along. I'll set an alert here so I can let you guys know if you guys are in this V3 on the 5 minutes. This is 5 minute V3. And I'll take a screenshot of my profits to show you guys, what I did there. Oh, nice. And Melzon said it actually hit my TP, but moved way too fast. Nice, Melzon. So people are sending in their profits. If you guys made profits off that trade, feel free to send them in. I'll add them to the list. And I'll take a look at the chat right now, because it looks like a lot of you guys actually hopped into that as well. Right there. So let me just screenshot mine real quick. Just made 1,000 off it. Nothing too crazy. Quick 100 pips. Lots of volatility in the market. It starts to pick up. So it's 7:13 right now. We have news coming up at 7:30. Yeah, this thing is still bouncing around that area. I was kind of tempted to double dip into it, but I'm not going to, because it doesn't look like a good trade, to be honest, in my perspective. There's a lot of wicks on both ends. As you guys can see, that candle and the previous candle before it, there's a lot of wicks on both sides, on top and bottom. So it just overall looks like a risky trade in general. So I'm done messing with that. I'm looking for something. Realistically, I'm looking for something on the higher time frames, like the 10 over here, because this can be closing for another V3 as well. Also, the 1 minute, I'm still looking for it to break out of this area. So it hasn't broken out of this area yet. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. But as you guys can see, it's starting to get tighter, the range, right? The range is starting to get a bit tighter. And we'll see where it goes from here. But yeah, hopefully nobody's in the 5 minute. It's just, it's as risky as we anticipated. So I'm not in the position. Hopefully nobody else is. That's why I didn't take it for the full move, or realistically like much of it. So let me go ahead and send in my profits from, that specific move right there, but still no official trades for today. All right, so let's see. We got all my accounts right here. Still waiting for the confirmation. We don't have anything to take right now. I'm going to go ahead and update this right here. Oh my gosh. Steven. So Steven's asking, are you supposed to be using the 1 minute chart? Steven, I can't tell if you're trolling right now, or if you're being serious. We've been on the 1 minute chart for like the past 3 years, bro. So I'm not sure if like I don't know if Steve's messing with us right now. We've been using the 1 minute chart like for every live session for like the past 3 years, Steven. So yes, we are definitely using the 1 minute chart. We're supposed to be using it. Yeah, no, that's why okay, guys. So Steven said I got confused when he said 5 minute. So we don't use the 5 minute. It was just something that MJ kind of mentioned. That's why I didn't take the trade there. And you can see right here it's stop loss because obviously I don't trade on the 5 minute. I trade on the 1 minute and I trade on the 10 minute. We just saw MJ saw a trade here on the 5 and I wasn't comfortable with it. That's why I took it for a small little push, but this is technically not like one of the time frames that I typically trade on. I typically trade on the 1 minute mostly and the 10 minute. These are the two time frames I trade on. So yeah, no, and I agree too, Ruin. I agree with you as well. Sorry guys, we have like some other messages, but yeah, no, I'm hoping that he bounces back from it. So Steven, just focus on like on the breakout and the scalps that we catch on the lower time frame, like the 1 minute, like earlier when we were looking at certain trades. Focus on like what I look for on the 1 minute and the 10 minute. Anything on the 5 and 3, I don't really mess with these time frames too much. These are just here because other members will like go and look at like other trades on these time frames, and then I'll just analyze with them, right? Like if they see something on the 5, I'll be like, okay, there's possibly a trade here, and I'll use this as a confluence. So like say for example, we get a sell entry here on the 5, I'll be looking for a sell entry here on the 1, if that makes sense. Like we have it marked up here on the 5, but I'm looking for my actual entry here on the 1. And you're probably going to be confused about that, but it's okay. Just remember to focus on the 1 and the 10 here, because these are where I'm going to call the official trades. All the variations are going to come on the 1 over here or the 10-minute, and the snipe entries are going to come here on the 10-minute as well. Steven said, if I reach my goal today, I'm going to eat a watermelon. I'm getting water in my mouth because of all these red and green candles. Yeah, Steve. Steven basically said his mouth is getting watery because he's seeing all these green and red candles, so he really wants to hop into a trade. Yeah, no. Yeah, Ruin said he hopes you eat too, Steven. Now Steven messes around a lot. If you guys have been part of K2 for a while, you know Steven's been here. Steven was he wanted to end the war, so we said he was going to call Putin up himself and tell him to chill out because he wants to trade. So yeah, no, hopefully I hope you catch one more trade today, Steven, but it doesn't look like you're going to get anything today because price is kind of going back and forth. So back to what we were talking about yesterday, I was going to say Putin, Steven, back to what we were talking about yesterday. Remember how I told you, like when there's no overall bias to not take any trades, there's no overall bias right now. Retail sentiment is currently 59 to 60%. So this is indicating a sell, while the fundamentals here are currently green. So if the fundamentals here are green, they're up 121 points. This is indicating to take a buy, while this is indicating to take a sell. So for me personally, I'm not looking to take any trades at this moment. If this starts to swing back down, which it could swing back down at some point, then I'll start looking for trades in that direction. But right now, I'm not looking for anything at the moment because price is too high. What might happen here is price might push up, hit this area of liquidity, and then we have news here at 7:30. So if with news right there at 7:30, let me check what news it is. It's going to be crude oil inventories. It's probably going to be positive news. So here's the thing that you guys want to keep in mind as well. We have Fed member Brainerd speaking here at 9:15, and the Fed minutes. So with the Fed minutes later today, they're probably going to be discussing inflation and higher interest rates. So when the Fed minutes come out later today at 11, I think this is just setting up for the drop later. So for me personally, this is kind of what I see happening. I see price pushing up, hitting liquidity, and then around 11 mid-market, when the Fed minutes come out, I think price is going to come right back down. So here's why I see that happening. You see this big push right here? It's like a manipulated push to the upside, right? Because it was all bearish today. The entire stock index was red, so price should have been dropping like pretty much all session. I see this pushing up, and then when price pushes up like that, there's going to be a big gap right here, right? So like there's a gap in price. Market open here at 630. This is the gap in price right here, right? So what happens when you see a gap like that? Whenever you see a gap that's that seems manipulated because it's against pretty much all of our analysis for the overall bias. If the overall bias was a sell and price pushed up right here, what happens from that point, right? When this gap gets is finished, it fills a gap, right? It comes right back down. So this is kind of what I'm anticipating later on when the Fed minutes do come out. Fed minutes come out at 11, so we'll see where it goes from there. But right now, we just don't really have anything for us to take at the moment. I'm glad that we were able to catch a couple of those speculative pushes earlier, but for the most part, there really isn't anything for us to take at the moment. There's a V1 here. I don't know if you guys spotted that. There's a V1, but it was right at the session, so not exactly where I would want to trade. V1 right there. Would have hit TP, but it was right at the session, so I wouldn't have taken it. Anyways, back to the chat over here. Quick partial profits on the session. So let me just update this right here. And I'll look over everyone's profits. So basically, these are the profits on my accounts. Typically, I don't show you guys the trades that I take off the live session, but I was just too lazy to not I was too lazy to to hide these. So basically, this is something I took last night. As I mentioned, I tried to take the drop yesterday that Narith took. I got stopped out in profit, made 280. That sell that I took earlier, part of the V3 on the 5-minute, I took it for 100 pips, locked in a total profit of 1,000. So total profit of 1,300 off this account, 1,500 off this account, 1,380 off this account, 1,380 off this account, and same 1,380 off this account as well. So these are my 3 MFFs and these are my 2 FTMOs. Looking over at everyone else's profits, scrolling up real quick. Narith over here locked in a total of 11,872. Crazy work right there, Narith. Looks like he took the breakout actually. So Narith here took the sell last night and he took the breakout right here at 633. Nice profit right there across both trades. His other account right here, the breakout as well, 3,790. His third account over here, the breakout as well, 1,035. So nice work right there, Narith. Narith said the yes. It's my my yes I give off whenever it hits my TP. There's a V3 that's coming up right here, guys. Not one that I would take because obvious reasons, but there's a V3 right there that is heading. I think the stop loss would be too tight anyways, so I don't think you'd be able to take that trade. Yeah, stop loss is too close. It needs to be at least 300 pips. So more profits over here. Sam over here locked in a total of 1,079. Nice work, Sam. Great, great. He took 200 pips off that 5-minute V3 earlier. And then we got Rookie over here locked in a total of 322 off that sell earlier that I took as well. Nice work, Rookie. And then my profits right here as well. Going up over here real quick. Let's see, Dre over here locked in a total of 405. He traded in the direction of the bias. All sells today, all wins. Nice work, Dre. Andreas over here as well took the sell for the 5-minute V3 that we took, the partial move, took it for a total profit of 247. Nice work, Andreas. Barack over here said, good day, Sean. Covered yesterday's loss today, better day today, and he's waiting for more. Locked in a total of 1,316. Nice work, Barack. All right, guys, so solid profits all across. Maddie over here as well, locked in 217 off this account, 435 off this account, 500 off this account, and then he said then more profits below here as well. 630 off this account, 861 off this account, and 1,300 off this one. Nice work, Maddie, on all three of your accounts right there. Scroll down a little bit, Peter over here. Nice work, Peter. Looks like you had one loss here, which is okay. It happens. But you bounced back with that loss right after. So you took a $40 loss. You took a nice profit over here with 131. So total profit, you made about 200, about 300, and then minus 40. So maybe like about 260 total for the day. So nice work right there, Peter. And nice recovery off that small loss that you suffered earlier. Steven over here too. Took a small, quick sell. Locked in a profit of 200 for the day. Nice work, Steven. Emil is on over here as well. Oh, gotcha. Oh, Emil's said, I took a loss trying to take it back to open LLC tomorrow. And he said actually it hit his TP, but it moved way too fast. Gotcha. Yeah, he got caught in the volatility spike, which happens. And I think that's about it for right now. If you guys have more profit to send in, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, there's no entries to take right now. This is not a V3 because the stop loss is too close. We need the stop loss to be at least 300 pips here on the 1 minute. As you guys see over here, there's a lot of areas of liquidity right here. If price does hit this point, I could see it hitting all of the liquidity and then making its way back down. So this is actually what we discussed earlier. So Matsy, I'm not sure if you're still here, but this is exactly what you identified, right? You identified price probably going to the high and then coming back down, which is pretty much what I was anticipating too. We have news coming up here at 7:30 in about 3 minutes. So we'll see how price reacts to the news. What I personally might see happen here is price might spike up on news, in a direction of positive news, which I'm kind of anticipating. Then I see it coming back down. Oil inventory should be low. They've been low for some time now, especially with gas prices still rising. So I do expect this here to be positive. And they're forecasting it to be positive as well. So, I mean, we'll see. There he goes, price hits liquidity. Let's see if it ends up hitting all the liquidity here and then makes its way back down. But overall, there's nothing here to take. There's nothing here off the 10 minute. There's nothing off the 1 minute, nothing off the 5, and nothing off the 3. Price is pretty much pushing up to this area where these sessions is sitting, the Asia high. Price might push up and then reject off it, just like I marked up over here. Another V3 here possibly setting up. But it's not going to be wide enough. We need at least 300 pip stop loss for us to, really mess with that. Let me clean this up a little bit over here. All right, so there we go. As price pushes up. Let's see if it rejects off the sessions right there. Yeah, we got news coming up as well. So exactly right there where I marked up, this is the sessions. That's the Asia high. You can see prices rejecting directly off it. And let's see if it makes its tumble way back down. Let's see, retail sentiment. 59% long, still in the same place. Fundamentals are pretty high right now. They're up 156 points. Looking over here at the heat map. Heat map is pretty mixed, half green, half red. All right, so price is right at the sessions right now. Let me go and just delete this right here. See where price is rejecting off, right off the sessions. This is a possible V1 right here. Possible V1 pending right here. It's a double body. Not one that I'm looking to take because there's news right here at 7 o'clock, but I'll mark it up and I'll show you guys. I think it'll probably hit. But I'm not taking it. There's news right here at 7 o'clock. So as soon as this candle closes, there's gonna be news. This is the news candle right here. Let's check the news. So a couple of red flags here. It's right at the sessions and it's right at news. So I just wanted to mark it up to show you guys that there was a possible V1 coming there, but not one that we would take, obviously. Let's take a look at the news to see if it was positive or not. All right. So looking at the news right here, the news was actually it was negative. Well, yeah, there's no minimum for the V1, Alexander. It's just it's just a fixed TP stop loss because you're going for like a really quick push. So yeah, it would have hit TP right there. So right there, the V1 that I marked up hit full TP. And I mean, basically did what we anticipated. I was anticipating it to drop at least 100 pips, rejected right off these sessions right here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark up the news price, which is right there. Delete this. So we got news price right there. Mark that up over here as well. A lot of areas of liquidity. So as you guys can see here on the bottom end, there's a lot of liquidity sitting. So even though price is so high above, I think when price comes back down, it's going to knock through all this liquidity. So you can see right here, there's like a channel that's kind of built. So when this channel breaks, I think it'll tumble its way all the way back down. It comes back from this point. But that's all speculation. And we won't have that till we have that. But it's just a clean chart right there. Anyways, back to this chart over here. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing. I mean, nothing really. Price is just in between the news price and the sessions right here. But there's a lot of liquidity here on the bottom end. Yeah, I know exactly. Ruin said news negative all day and it pushed to the US30 high. Yeah. So I think this is just setting up for the Fed minutes later because I don't think the Fed minutes are going to be good. I didn't sit to listen to any of the Fed meetings yesterday. I don't know if anyone listened to Powell speak or whatever, but their minutes are going to come out at 11. So I think this is just setting up to push up. And then I think when it gets closer to 11, when the minutes get released later today, like around this point, price will start to make its way back down. So it's just propped up for now. Like realistically, there's no reason for US30 to go up. I see it just going up because of, I mean, the obviously manipulation. This price has been pushing down for so long. It's all psychological, like how we always discuss with regard to US30. US30 has been dropping for like, so you can see right here, US30 has been dropping for a really long time now. So the reason why I see this as a psychological move is because people always buy US30 because they think it's going to be directional, right? Everyone thinks price, like you can buy US30 or the Dow, and then you can expect it to go up because it's a compilation of the top 30 stocks. However, the economy is not that good right now. So I think this is just them giving people hope that price is recovering. But then overall, I do see it coming back down. I mean, you can always see the retracements here. Price will drop for a while. It'll retrace up for a little bit, then it'll dump right back below. They'll retrace up a little bit, dump back below, retrace right here, make people think that price is reversing, and then it just dumps heavily. Retracement, dump. And then again, right here, another retracement, basically giving people hope. And then I expect it to dump again at some point. Because it just doesn't line up, right? There's no real reason for US30 to be pushing up super high. So let me just clean up these 10-minute areas of liquidity over here. So today's feeling like Monday. If you guys remember Monday, there was no overall bias, so we didn't really have anything to take. Again, today there's no overall bias, so there's not really much to take unless aside from the sells this morning. But this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to keep pushing up tomorrow. Like Monday was kind of a neutral day. Yesterday was a directional day, so we took sells, and then again today it was a neutral day. Tomorrow, let me see if there's any news. So tomorrow there's actually bigger news. We have prelim GDP, we have unemployment claims, and then we have pending home sales. So tomorrow we have a lot of news. I think price is probably gonna come back down tomorrow because we have some volatility. And then on Friday we have even more news. We have Fed member Bullard speaking, core PCE, good trades, personal income, personal spending, etc. It's basically Fed week this week, so that's why you kind of have like some days where it's slow, some days where it's very volatile. I think tomorrow's going to be a bit volatile. It'll probably make it swing back to the downside. Yeah, Stern said wacky Wednesday. All right, Matsy. Yeah, Matsy said, all right, guys, I'm off. Have a good day. Definitely, Matsy. We'll see you tomorrow. Nice. Looks like some of you guys here sent me some more profits. All right, cool. So Mohammed over here, new member in K2, said, hi, I'm new. Am I allowed to ask questions in this chat? Yeah, you guys can ask questions in any of the chats, really. So Kevin over here has posted his profits. He traded both ways this morning. Looks like he locked in a total of 17,000. Wow, you've been making some crazy profits, Kevin. Looks like you caught that drop last night, the drop that I was trying to catch. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but you caught it right there. Some nice work right there for the day. 17,000 for the day, crazy. And then his other account over here, currently at 5,226. So it looks like you and Narith both caught that drop last night. Solid work. Maria over here, she locked in a total of 428 for the day. Nice work, Maria. Harry over here locked in a total of 664. Nice work, Harry. Siren over here locked in a total of nearly 1,000 euros for the day. Nice work, Siren. And here's Siren's 570. Man, sick car, Siren. I need to get mine sometime soon too. But once this recession like takes full effect, I've been following the car prices. The prices are dropping heavily right now. As you guys remember, I was trying to get an R8 like last month, but the prices have been dropping super. So I'm just waiting for the price to drop even further. It's not going to drop a lot, but it's going to drop, a bit more. Vincent over here locked in a total of, man, Vincent looks like he took something over here early on. Looks like he got caught in something, so you got a loss right there. But nice recovery. You made your trades right back over here for a profit of 131 for the day. So profit's profit. It's just going to be a matter of staying in profit every day so that you can build from there, which you did good. I mean, the other days you did pretty solid. I mean, you're getting better with your trade psychology and consistency. Back to the chart, still nothing for us to take at the moment. Price is still climbing to the upside. Here on the 10-minute, it's still climbing up as well. But I do anticipate a drop to come at some point, especially because the Fed is going to be speaking today. So a little farther down, Michael over here. Nice work, Michael. Michael took the sells here in the direction of bias. Total profit of 687 for the day. So nice work right there, Michael. He said he needs 2.5K more in the next week to pass my 100K challenge. Nice, nice. Nice. See on top of the wins. Yeah, nice work, Michael. So Michael over here, he needs about 2,500 to pass this challenge. And he has a whole week. So basically you just need to look for like a couple, maybe a couple more solid, high quality, high probability trades and you should be good. and no need to rush it. I would take the whole week. Maddie over here as well. Maddie locked in a total of 809 off this account. Locked in a total of 1,219 off this account. And total of 1,700 off this account. So nice work right there, Maddie. Other than that, let's see. All right, solid. See if there's anything else here for me to look at. I think that's about it for now. Okay, so there's nothing off the 10, nothing off the 5, nothing off the 3, nothing off the 1. If you guys have any questions or you want me to cover anything, feel free to let me know. You guys can chime in the chat. It is 7:41 right now. So we got about 20 minutes till 8. I don't really see anything on my end over here. Price is right around the sessions and news price. You can see price starting to make its way back down. I wouldn't chase any of these moves here because we don't have an overall bias. Retail sentiment is still indicating to take a sell, but it's not very strong. Typically, if you guys are looking for the overall bias, you typically want retail sentiment to be 60 to 65% or more in the direction of either way. So right here, it's at 58%. It's not even at 60%. So it's not very strong right now. It's still indicating a sell, but it's not very strong. I think this will pick up more as price continues to drop back down. Seems like a lot of people are starting to pull out of their buys because price did push up and then now they're expecting it to come right back down. Looking over here at fundamentals, they're currently up 172 points. Again, right here, looking at the overall bias. For the fundamental bias, you need it to be above or below 100 points. So these two here don't line up. The retail sentiment has a sell bias, but it's not very strong. The fundamental bias here is bullish and it's actually pretty strong. So these are both, they're both conflicting with each other. You want these to be in the same direction. For the technical bias, this is also pointing for a buy, but obviously we're not looking for that right now. But let me check the heat map again. Heat map is still pretty mixed. It's partially green, partially red. So as you can see, there's no clear direction in the market right now. Let's see where it goes from here. Price is rejecting off the rejecting right off the sessions right here. One of two things will typically happen at this point. Price will either bounce off it or it'll break below and continue dropping further. So two different scenarios that can play out here. We'll see where it ends up going. My guess is that it's probably going to bounce off and then make its way back down for a retest and then maybe break through it or do the same thing for a second retest. Seth is asking how much you guys risk on a challenge. For a challenge, or it doesn't really make a difference whether it's a challenge or personal account. You should only risk like 1 to 3% max. Seth, I mean, depends on the type of trade that you're taking. I personally risk 1.5% per trade, and then that's just me most of the time. Because so the thing is, you have a 5% capacity of risk for a day before you hit your daily max loss or your daily loss limit. So you want to keep it within those parameters. If you're risking 1.5%, you can lose like three trades back to back and still be okay. Not that you should be losing that many trades back to back. Typically if I lose one trade, I'm done for the day. So I usually risk between 1.5 to 2%, but 1.5 is solid because if you do 1.5 a day, you need 10% to pass. You can easily do that within a month or so. Like realistically, if you're going for, you need 10% divided by 1.5. You need about 15 trades, which is possible. I mean, you have like 30 days to trade, so realistically, it's very doable. Or if you want to go higher, divide by 2%. You only need about 5 good trades. But then again, you're taking on a lot more risk if you do that. So I keep it between 1.5 and maybe 2%, depending on how confident you are with the trade. If there's an overall bias, like if you have retail sentiment over here where this is like 80% long, and then you have this over here, which is like 200 points in the red, and then the heat map's all red, then yeah, maybe I'll up my risk to 2%. But when it's like this, where it's not very strong, then I would probably lower my risk maybe 1% or 1.5%. Just depends on the market conditions. Today's not a very strong bias day, so probably keep it to a minimum. That's why my trades weren't really, well, I didn't even take any trades that were official. I kind of just took trades within the trade for a smaller push. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any other questions here. If you guys have any questions that you put in the chat and I missed it, just drop it again in the chat. There's a lot of conversations going on, so I kind of missed. See, Craig said work commitments now in the way, so I will catch up later. No trades today on a funded account, but then again, no losses are equally as important. So catch up soon, definitely, Craig. So we'll see you tomorrow. I don't see anything else here. All right, cool. All right, so back here on the 1 minute, as you guys can see, I had this markup right here. It kind of did what we were anticipating. Price came down for the test. I said price is going to push up a little bit, come back for the retest, and then the same scenario played out over here again. Whether price will either break below or come up. I wouldn't just chase the trade just because price broke below here, because this can be a fake out. Price can fake out below and then swing back up, just like it did earlier, or it can drop below. But you can see that price is starting to make its way back down, right? It's doing kind of what we were hoping was going to happen. Price came up, hit all the liquidity above here, and then now it's making its way back down. But I don't recommend chasing it just yet, because again, it's right at the sessions and news price, and you don't want to enter any trades near sessions or news price. So let me take a look over here real quick if this is updated. I think it's still probably around the same. No changes there. Fundamentals are starting to drop though. Yeah, it's only down to 121. So this is perfect. It's starting to drop down. As it drops down lower, we're going to have a sell bias again. Price is coming right back down. So if you guys remembered here on the 10 minute, I pretty much marked it up for you guys right here. It's doing exactly what we were looking at. So as I was discussing with you guys earlier, I mentioned that there was a huge gap right here. I do think price is going to come back down, right? There's a huge gap that needs to be filled. This is a manipulated push to the upside right here that shouldn't have happened. So now I think price is going to come back down and just correct back to opening price around this area. So this is where I see price coming down to. No guarantee it'll happen, but I think it's going to happen because this wasn't supposed to happen. Like earlier this morning, everything was red. Price was still pushing up, pretty much hit all liquidity. And then now it's just going to come right back down and stop everybody out who chased that buy there. So I don't chase buys like that because I know where the overall bias is. If this number here, this is my main thing that I look at. I always look at sentiment because I don't want to trade where everyone else is trading. So no entries available right now, but I do think price is going to continue dropping lower. What I need at this point is I need some sort of buy signal. I need a buy signal so that I can have pinning momentum in this direction. So if I get a V3, a V1, V2, high, low, whatever you want to call it, we'll have an entry to take there. But currently at the moment, I don't see anything. One thing that you guys can look out for over here as well is the daily entry, right? I know a lot of you guys don't look for that entry anymore, but it's still a pretty solid move. So like right here, market open at 630. If you get a sell signal here on the 10 minute, it's going to be the daily entry, right? So if you measure it, the daily entry is going to be within the gap over here. So the gap that we were talking about is right here. Basically price pushed up for no reason. And then we expect it to make its way back down at some point. I don't know when this will happen, but I think it'll happen by the end of today. It'll at least drop to mark up opening price right here. it'll at least drop to somewhere around this vicinity, if not below it. But you just got to wait for actual confirmation. You can't just enter a sell and be like, okay, it's going to drop, right? You have to enter a sell if there's like an actual sell entry that is available. It's not available right now, but I think if it does close with the daily entry, then it can possibly come down further. Just remember the cutoff time is 9 o'clock. So if you don't get it by 9, it's probably not going to happen. Avoid trade if candles too big, substantially larger than others. All right, back to the 1 minute. Here we go as it comes right back to this area. As I mentioned earlier, guys, I said not to chase a sell here because it could be a fake out, and that's exactly what happened. Price came below here, faked out, came right back up, and then now it's back at this area. One thing that you guys want to look out for are the two different scenarios. For one, price can come back down and continue its drop below, or price can swing above here and continue pushing up. But again, once price gets above this point, there could be a strong possibility of a fake out again. So this is why we don't trade around sessions, which is this purple line. You can see right here, it's the Asia high. We don't trade around this area because you get a lot of manipulation on this point. We also don't trade around news price, which is this pink line right here. News came up at 7 o'clock. It was negative news. So as you can see right here from 7 o'clock, or 7 o'clock, or 7:30 actually, news right here was negative. It pushed up basically like a fake push to the upside, and then it came back down. So as you can see where price is at, this is where news was. It's literally right back to where it was, right? So you can see right here, this was basically a manipulated push to the upside, and then it made its way back down, correcting back to where it was prior to news. And now it's just choosing its direction now. My guess is that the direction is going to push to the downside. That's what I see happening. Basically came back right here, and then eventually I think it'll come back down. But you just got to remember to wait for an actual confirmation. And if you guys are understanding that, basically right here, if you guys remember, the oil news came out. So oil inventory is right here, came out at 7:30. That's where this was. So basically, news happened right here. The news was negative, right? So when news is negative, you typically think price is going to come down. But what happened was that it was a fake out. It pushed to the upside right here. And then because it was supposed to come back down, it corrected back to where it was supposed to be below here, right? This is where it was supposed to go. Faked out, and then it stopped people out, went right back down. And then it faked people out again right here, and then it pushed right back up. So it's just clear manipulation of price. That's why I don't trade news, because you get stuff like this. News will be negative and it'll push up and it'll come right back down. Or it'll do vice versa. News will be positive, it'll push down and it'll push up, and then it'll go back to where it was previously. But I do think price will continue to drop from here. We just want to get away from this area. But the problem with this is, even if we get away from this area, you're going to have another sessions right here. And you'll have to wait for it to push away from this area. But if we get any trades around this point right here, then I wouldn't mind taking something right there, maybe for a quick push, if there's anything that does come up. All right, so new areas of liquidity right here. We have this, that, and the other. Not much going on, just a range right here between news price, sessions, and this low. Here on the clean chart. Okay, check this out. So if you guys remember earlier on the clean chart, I mentioned that there was a channel right here, right? I mentioned when price breaks below the channel, it's probably going to drop further. And that's what's exactly happening right here. I do think price is going to come back down. If it's the area of liquidity, then I think it's going to drop even lower. But it broke out of the channel here. This is the channel I drew earlier on the clean chart. I'll take this off now because it's already broken. I do think price is going to continue dropping. And I'm going to clean this up with the new areas of liquidity here. Okay, this is what I like to see here. So we have an area of liquidity right below. right here. So if price drops lower, I think like if price gets to the middle of this liquidity area, I think it'll push to the sessions below here. Yeah, providing for some. I mean, if anyone wants to take a speculative move, I could see it dropping lower from this point. I do think it's risky, but I do think price is going to drop. So risky, but I do think price is going to drop. I'll keep watching it to see if I see any like any areas for me to enter it, but I'm basically just have to watch to see where it goes from here. Because obviously I have to be a bit careful. It's getting really close to 8, so I don't really want to take anything too risky. It's at 7:56 right now, so if I don't see anything come up like within the next 4 minutes or so, then I'm probably just going to call it a day. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said range is getting tighter. Definitely. Yeah, and by 8 o'clock, the London session is about to close as well. So let's see where it goes from here. Spread's not bad either. Damn, its volatility is super slow though. Let's see where it ends up going. I'm looking at my MT4 chart. See if it drops lower from here. Let's get into that point. See if I can get over here. There we go. Liquidity. Let's see if liquidity gets hit. And it got hit right there. Man, I couldn't get into the trade. I think I'm trying to. I was gonna get in a little late. I should have got in when it was like up here. I should put like a sell stop or something. But I was just watching it. So I wanted to just hit the DOM. But we'll see if it comes down lower. So the liquidity did get hit right here, as I mentioned earlier. I just didn't have good opportunity to enter the trade. I should have set like a sell stop like right here or something. So not much for us to look at out here if price does, make its way back down or if it bounces around this area. But it's getting close to 8, guys. So I think that's about it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I think for now, we're pretty much done. It's 7:58 right now. Kind of a bummer. I was trying to get in right here, but I couldn't. I was waiting for it to come lower, but it never came down that low. And now there's no more liquidity around here because this already got hit. I was hoping there was going to be some space here. So if it did, there'd be like a tighter area of liquidity right here. But it did come down and hit the bottom level of that liquidity area right there. Right here. All right, guys. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I think we're done for the day. If you guys do decide to trade, I'd probably recommend just not trading. Reason for that is because we have the Fed speaking shortly in about a couple minutes, or not a couple minutes, in like about an hour or so. So right here at the news, we have Fed member Brainerd speaking at 9:15, and then we have the Fed minutes at 11 o'clock. So unless you guys really have to trade, I would just sit out the market. But other than that, I think that's it for now. So if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we will pick back up tomorrow. Nice work. So Fern over here said very little profits on my own trades. The live call entries gave me the real cushion for another great profit day. Thanks again, Sean. Only half a percent left to be funded. I'll be back tomorrow. So definitely, Fern, great work over here. Total profit of 1,924 for the day. So great work right there, Fern, with your overall profits. Other than that, I think that's about it for now. Barack over here said, passed another challenge today. Day 10 started as I blew my funded. Got to stay in the game and learn. So Barack over here, big congrats to Barack. He passed another challenge right here. So another K2 member passing their challenge today. Solid trades. Yeah, overall right here, it was a great day for you today. Made 2,314. So did pretty good. Yeah, Brock said today was sweet. Glad I made it back. Thank you, Sean, for liquidity, bro. It's lit. So yeah, definitely great work right there, Brock. He locked in some good profit and passed his challenge. So another K2 member over here with another past challenge. See Maddie over here as well. Maddie sent in his profits, locked in a total of 911. So nice work right there, Maddie. His second account over here, 1,219. Nice work with that too, Maddie. And then his third account over here, total profit of 1,940. So great work all across right there, across all your accounts. Nice. So Maddie he just passed his challenge. So another challenge right here, Maddie just passed another 200K. So easy as that, guys. All right, 2 people passed their challenges today. Maddie passes 200K, and then we had Brock over here who passed his, I think this is 100K. So great work, guys. Other than that, I think that's about it. Arain over here as well, locked in a total profit of 646. So nice work right there to Arain. And I think that's about it. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of the morning. If you guys need a trade, I'd recommend using smaller lot sizes or, using proper risk. Otherwise, I would just not trade today, guys. It's a lot of stuff coming up shortly in the next couple hours or so. So I would just chill out and enjoy the rest of your morning, unless you guys really, really have to trade, which I highly doubt you do. So other than that, guys, have a great rest of your day. If you have questions, feel free to reach out, and we'll pick back tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow morning.